All right, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this month's GSU Book Club. My name is Ryan Smith. I'm the Wellness Program Administrator with Georgia State University's Employee Development and Wellness Services, and I am joined today by my colleague Cheryl Johnson-Ramsaw, as well as our guest speaker and author of today's selection, AJ Weiss. Just a couple quick things before we get started. We will be recording today's session. We record our sessions so that you can view them again at a later time or share them with a colleague who may not have been able to attend today. Our recordings are uploaded to our EDWS YouTube page, which will be provided in a follow-up email if you're curious to look at our previous book clubs, as well as our other offerings, including things like cooking demonstrations, stretch breaks, and more. Throughout today's presentation, there will be a couple opportunities during the Q&A discussion to submit questions or comments related to the book and our topics, so we encourage you to make use of the WebEx chat feature to do so. If you have any audio or video issues during today's presentation, you can also use the chat box feature to send a message to the panelists to let them know you're experiencing issues, and we'll try to help you sort through those technical issues. With all that said, we hope you enjoy today's book club presentation, and I will turn things over to Cheryl.
Thank you, Ryan. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's Georgia State Book Club. I am very excited to be here with my colleague, Ryan, to host our session for today. We have hosted many book clubs over several years, and it's really been rare that we've had the privilege to have the guest authors of the books participate in our book club. So today we feel very privileged and delighted that you are here to join us to discuss the featured book for today, Shamanic, Yoga and Psycho-Emotional Healing by the author AJ Weiss. I'd like to just take a few minutes to talk about today's guest author, as we have the privilege of her joining us for the discussion, and we've had a long relationship with her. AJ Weiss has a private psychotherapy and healing practice in Atlanta, Georgia, and she holds a board certification in body-mind therapy and a professional registration in yoga and meditation. She holds multiple degrees. She's trained at George Washington University, New York University, and Georgia State University. And she has taught shamanic yoga internationally with Dream Change Coalition, and a global organization that is serving shamanism and ecology, and just has a vast list of other credits that we also want to end on noting that Janet Weiss, as we refer to her, is currently our yoga and meditation consultant at Georgia State, working closely with our office, EDWS, and we've had a long-standing relationship with her, and she has been teaching guided meditation and yoga for a number of years through our wellness program. And so today's book is one that we're excited to feature. It was published in 2020, and because we do have our guest author here today, we're delighted and privileged to have Janet provide us with a special presentation on her book. And so with that, I'm going to turn it over to Janet.
Greetings, everyone. Thank you for being here. It's a privilege for me to share this with you. I think the first thing might be to share what shamanic means. I think most of us have some idea these days of what yoga is. Shamanism is the most ancient of all healing systems, and it stems out of Native American culture. Shamans were the first healers. And there are many definitions of shamanism, but the one that I'm most drawn to, shamanic means that the universe is a living organism and all of its components are living entities. We are all part of this universal living organism that's in constant motion. I'd like to share a little bit about how the book is laid out, and then briefly share high points of each chapter and the 9 sections or aspects in each chapter. So the first shamanic yoga healing practice is called Isha, I-S-H-A, Isha. And this is the story of purifying internally from your own negativity and toxicity. So it's very much focused on self-healing and self-care. And the anatomical cues for Aisha is a squatting back practice, like you're going to sit down in a chair, squatting your hips back, and then inversing that so that you're drawing your spine forward and arcing your back as if you're trying to look back over the top of your head. And so you're alternating those two movements. Don't want to go into too much technicality with the movements, but they're all photographed in the book. They're beautifully photographed by Michael Takash, professional photographer who worked with me. And then the breathing alignment for Aisha is coordinating your moving and your breathing and your sounding. So the sounding in yoga practice is called a mantra, and the sounding for Aisha is just that. It's I as you squat and sha as you arc back, so that you're moving and breathing and sounding. So those are the first 3 aspects of all of the practices: the story, the anatomical cues, and the breathing. And the 4th aspect is meditation relaxation. And for Aisha, the meditation relaxation is focused on opening a two-way energy system. So you're opening the energy hatch, the door beneath your tailbone and beneath your feet, which connects you to the earth, beloved Mother Earth. And then the other energy hatch or doorway opens above the crown of your head and connects you with the cosmos. So this particular aspect has been very important to me because it helped me realize that I'm not an entity unto myself, although I am that. I'm more than that. I'm also the energy above my head that connects me to the universe, and I'm the energy below my feet, which connects me to the earth. And the visualization, which is another aspect in each chapter, the visualization imagery, which is so important because, as Carl Jung said, imagery is the language of the soul. So visualization and imagery has the capacity to go deeper than the words and to help ignite your imagination and the language of your soul. So the visualization is, for Aisha, is focused on the North Star, shining brilliantly above your head, and then bringing that light through the crown of your head, your crown chakra, and that your spine and your nervous system. It's a very beautiful visualization imagery to spend a little more time with. But in a nutshell, that's Aisha's visualization and imagery. And then the conscious connection for Aisha, another aspect for each practice, is the concept of using external nature as a way to self-heal and self-care. And that it's essential to spend some time each day with some form of healing and purification practice. Then there's a poem for each chapter, and I'm going to share one poem down the road in this presentation a little bit. But the language of healing, there are 4 lines, 4 words, for healing. So I would like to share those, especially since the focus of the book is healing. And so the 4 lines, 4 words for healing for the practice of Aisha. Carve time for yourself. Create boundaries for yourself. Be generous some way. That includes being generous with yourself. And care for the earth. The second practice is, the name of the practice is Serpent Spine. And the story behind serpent spine is the story of transformation. And the serpent is used for imagery because the serpent sheds its skin once a year. And this is considered an transformation. And so the focus of serpent spine is on the human spine and the central importance of the human spine. And the anatomical cues are for spinal flexibility. So you're rolling your spine to vertical and then flattening your spine down toward your feet and the ground. And the breathing alignment is inhaling on your flat back, flat spine, downward flow, and exhaling on your upward roll. So you're coordinating your breathing and your moving, which is a theme throughout the book, coordinating your moving and your breathing. And as you're breathing and moving your spine, you're bringing vital life force to your spine, to your spinal cord. And the meditation relaxation experience focuses on flexibility, strength, and conductivity in the spine. So that as you breathe and as you move, you're freeing your breathing and freeing the mobility and conductivity of your spine. And the visualization imagery for serpent spine is visualizing the spine as a beautiful string of pearls, and each pearl is a vertebra. And the spinal cord at the center that strings through the center of each vertebra is a silken thread that strings the pearls all together. And the conscious connection for serpent spine is cultivating flexibility and fluidity simultaneously as you cultivate stability and steadfastness. So the stability and steadfastness is something that's cultivated in your psycho-emotional field. And the flexibility and fluidity is cultivated not only through your spine, which is very important because it's a central conductor of the nervous system, but the flexibility and fluidity is also cultivated in your psycho-emotional field. And the language of healing, the 4 lines, 4 words for healing for serpent spine: rest and digest daily. Learn to say no. Stay active your way and nurture your inner life. The next practice is called pendulum. And the story of pendulum is the rhythmic, trance-inducing side-to-side motion of a pendulum or metronome. And it's a trance-like journey used to awaken, open, and expand one's energetic field. And the paradox here is using physical trance motion via body movement and breathing to wake up from the trance, from the illusion of separateness. That's somewhat of a complex paradox, but I wanted to share it with you because I think it's an important part of the story. And at the beginning of each story, there's a little quip. They're quite beautiful and by very accomplished poets. And Eric Erickson, who was, I believe he was a psychiatrist, not quite sure. Anyway, the quip that I quote at the beginning of Pendulum is about the trance state, and I'm quoting him directly. We go from one trance state to another. We're always in a trance. To be enlightened is to wake up from the trance of separateness. Just hoping that might shine a little light on the paradox I just shared. Then the next aspect, the anatomical cues, are two yoga poses that are really a extended sequence of 16 poses, gentle yoga poses. And they all engage the side tossing motion like a pendulum. And so that's the anatomical aspect of pendulum. And the breathing alignment is inhaling on one extreme of the pendulum, maybe as it hangs right. And then on your exhale, and as you swing to the left, as the pendulum swings to the left, that's your exhale. So you're exhaling on the downward motion. And again, a lot of these you have to actually see or participate in the actual movement to really get it. But hopefully you're getting some kind of idea just by my words. The meditation relaxation aspect of pendulum is listening to the sounds of your breathing, listening to the audible whisper of your breathing. It sounds like the ocean. It sounds like a gentle wind. So very much connecting us to the nature that we are. In this meditation relaxation, along with the The movement, the anatomical cues, quiets the mind and quiets the emotions. So again, the psycho-emotional field, calming and quieting, and going deeper than the surface. And the visualization imagery for pendulum, it focuses on the life of a flower and likens our life to the life of a flower connected to the earth and completely interdependent, a complete interdependence of life. We need the water, we need the air, we need the sun, we need fertile soil from the earth, all to grow our food. We need all of these, just like the flower does. And the conscious connection for pendulum is steadying the spine and moving through a chakra journey. And some of you may be familiar with the chakras. It's a system that's aligned along the spine, vortexes of energy aligned along the spine. And you journey from your tailbone, ascending through your spine to the crown of your head. And it's, it's an area of study that you can spend quite a lot, quite a lot of time on if you so desire. But it's a very beautiful system, and that's the conscious connection for pendulum. And the language of healing for pendulum, the 4 lines, 4 words for healing. Say yes to breathing. Connect with nature daily. Be kind to yourself. And let go of perfectionism. The next healing experience is entitled 5 Sips, like 5 sips of air. And the story is the yoga of breathing. And the breathing, the name for breathing in yoga is pranayama. Pranayama. And the story of 5 sips is linking conscious breathing with the movement of respiration, the body's respiration movements. And the story of 5 sips is ideally about moving dense, stuck, frozen energy to free-flowing, alive energy, so that we're able to grow beyond entrenched patterns of thinking, feeling, and living. And the breathing alignment for 5 sips, the anatomical cues are a little complex to verbalize, but they're in the book, and we can certainly do them during yoga practice. But the breathing alignment is what's called gradient or stair-step breathing. And it's basically ratio breathing. Perhaps you've heard of ratio breathing, where you inhale for 5 counts, you hold your breath for 5 counts, you exhale for 5 counts, and then you hold your breath out for 5 counts. And so the breathing alignment connects you to all 4 parts of your breathing: your inhale retention, your exhale, and your exhale suspension. And the meditation relaxation focus on 5 sips is focusing on 5 specific body regions as you inhale and as you exhale. And the 5 body regions are the lagoon of the belly, your heart center, your throat, your third eye where your brow converges, and the crown of your head. And the visualization aspect, the visualization imagery, is visualizing a balloon that sits at the center of your thoracic cavity, which is your rib cage, and focusing on 3-dimensional breathing, which simply means front to back, side to side, and high to low. So it's far more powerful to do it than it actually is to say it, but we are at least able to share the words today. So the conscious connection for 5 sips is the cosmic tree likened to the human spine that roots downward and also roots upward. So it roots downward to something greater than the small self, and it roots upward and connects with something greater than the small self. So it's about expanding your sense of self, the study of the self, which in yoga is called svadhyaya, study of the self. And the language of healing for 5 sips, 4 lines, 4 words, 4 healing. Ponder at the sky, offer gratitude each day, keep stress in check, experience mystery and wonder. The next practice is called Cosmic Swirl. And Cosmic Swirl is the story of the motion that's not only all around us, but also the motion that's constantly and pervasively within us. And here the concept, the yogic concept of Granti is shared, and it's an important concept. It's a block or knot in the physical body that interferes or disrupts with the natural flow of movement, the natural flow of life force. And again, the anatomical cues are several, and they're in the book, and maybe one day we can share them together in yoga practice. And the breathing alignment is opening and expanding on your inhale and condensing and compressing on your exhale, and coordinating this as you move. And ultimately, it's about breathing as you move and moving as you breathe. And the meditation relaxation is the concept or the reality of being breathed. We're all being breathed by a vast, loving, supportive presence. And establishing a stable, steadfast core in the midst of all this motion, in the midst of this cosmic swirl. And the visualization imagery, the aspect of the imagery, is witnessing the animated universe from the center of your own heart, and your heart as your balance point in the universe. And the conscious connection is individuation separation, the psychological concept of individuation separation, and then the shamanic yoga concept of oneness, interconnectivity, and unity. And the language of healing, 4 lines, 4 words for healing. Trust that you belong. Learn your shadow side. Foster inner liberation, freedom. Engage your unique creativity. I think I'm going to have to speed up just a little bit in the interest of time. The next experience is called Golden Seed. And the story is about the seed, the acorn, evolving to the oak tree. And golden seed is also likened to the egg and the embryo, things in their seed. The anatomical cues are 26 gentle shamanic yoga poses, evolving the seed to full bloom, the fully blossomed natural expression of the self. And the breathing alignment is about receiving and absorbing each moment, each inhale, exhale, and experiencing the essence of the seed of each moment. And the meditation relaxation is centering inward and listening to the whisper of your soul, your subtle inner voice. And the visualization imagery is this inward self-connection journey, which awakens the potential of your dreams and visions of what is to be, the seed of your dreams and visions. And the conscious connection is the journey deep into your own heart, which is also called your seed body, your body of bliss. Journey to your own heart to rescue your own dreams, your own self-realization, and your own expansion of consciousness. And the 4 lines, 4 words for healing. Learn from Mother Nature. Eat whole, unprocessed food. Speak your own truth. And honor each present moment. The next experience is called awakening. And the story is transmuting or transforming something painful and destructive and replacing it with something life-giving and life-affirmative. And the anatomical cues and breathing are synchronized here. And so once again, you're coordinating moving, breathing, and sounding. And the meditation relaxation experience is relaxing and tuning into the 3 power centers of the body mind. And the 3 power centers are your belly, your heart, and your brain. And the visualization imagery for awakening is sitting down to your heart. Experiencing your life from a deeper, more present, more compassionate place. And the conscious connection for awakening is that awakening is a journey and it's a discipline, a practice, a path that keeps the healing process ignited and alive. And it's a mystical journey beyond the power of mind or the force of logic. And the language of healing, 4 lines, 4 words for healing. Soothe and relax yourself. Enjoy beauty each day. Cultivate a positive attitude. Activate your unique imagination. Okay, there are 2 more, and let me see if I can speed this process a little bit. The next experience is called Inti Surya. Inti Surya is the story of light. Where I studied shamanism, Inti is the sun, and in yoga practice, Surya is the sun. So this chapter is all about light, light as the vivifier, the clarifier, and the light of consciousness. The breathing is breathing in the wanted, breathing out the unwanted. Quite simple, but quite extensive. Uh, and then the meditation relaxation is, again, it's on the light and the sun and the plethora of references in so many poems and texts and literature on light and the sun, and the Milky Way, focusing on the Milky Way as a gentle river of light. Milky Way, our galaxy. And then the visualization imagery is about light glowing at the center of your skull. And this is the altar of your consciousness. And then the conscious connection is your realizing your own power to be a life affirming light carrier. And then the 4 lines, 4 words for healing. Let your heart sing, find peace within yourself, some solitude each day, acknowledge your unique me. And then the final experience, the final chapter is called Shavasana, Shamanic Journey. And this is the story of surrender. Shavasana in yoga is skillful relaxation, and the shamanic journey is an inward journey. And this is the story of letting go and inner visioning, letting go of the object material world, moving from outward desire toward inward experience for heart and soul retrieval, connecting with your innate wisdom. And this inward journey, this closing the gates of the senses in yoga, is called pratyahara. And the breathing alignment is allowing your breathing to move and flow for its own delight and bliss, so that you're breathing and bathing in the nectar of your breathing and receiving its healing medicine. And the meditation relaxation, it's a song to nature, which is in the book. And the visualization imagery is shining light inward on your cranial palace, the cradle of your cranium. So it's unadorned silence and illuminated stillness. And the conscious connection is the importance of resting, relaxing, visioning, meditating, dreaming. And this is very undervalued in our fast-paced, fast-forward global culture. And observing your own conscious connection, asking yourself, do I carve time for this resting, relaxing, visioning, meditating, and dreaming? And then the language of healing for Shavasana, shamanic journey. Welcome life's journey adventure. Skillfully regulate thoughts and feelings. Curate a healing practice. Balance, sound, and silence. So from here, Cheryl, I turn it back to you. I hope I didn't take too long, but it took me a while to get through that. Cheryl?
Yes, thank you, Janet. That was a wonderful presentation and such a powerful, detailed account of all of the 9 practices, the healing practices that are described in your book. And so certainly for those of you who have not had an opportunity to read the book, you will certainly note that Janet's presentation has been very helpful and just offering exactly what you will find if you have the privilege of reading it, but certainly getting a sense of particularly the focus on healing, obviously, as you described. So thank you very much, Janet, for that. Our time is limited now, but we do want to take a few minutes, first of all, to invite those of you attending today, if you have any comments or questions, certainly feel free to enter those in the chat box at this time. And as you may consider doing so, Janet, just wanting to ask you a couple of questions before we do wrap up. And just starting with, what was your motivation and inspiration to write the book, and how would you describe your approach to writing this book?
Well, my motivation, inspiration was ignited with a shamanic journey to the Amazon jungle in the early 90s, early to mid 90s. And that's really where so much came together for me in terms of shamanism, yoga, and healing. And what took me on a shamanic journey, literally a shamanic journey, was pain and a need to expand my own consciousness and a need to find more purpose in my own life. So the book is basically sharing this with you.
That's wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you. And you made reference to the beautiful photographs in the book. So again, for those of you who've not had a chance to read the book, there really are some wonderful photographic illustrations that demonstrate the body movement, postures. And so, Janet, I appreciate you did acknowledge the artist. There was an artist and photographer who worked with you.
Michael Takesh,
Yes.
very
And
skilled. Yeah.
any comments about what that experience was like, creating and capturing the postures for each of the practices that you describe in the book?
Well, we did several meetings, we did several photo shoots, and we did a couple of sessions where we organized and aligned which photos went best with which practice. And then at the beginning of each chapter is a beautiful photo taken by Michael that coordinates with the practice. And I met Michael because I was good friends with his wife. And yeah, he just did a great job. And I really like the way the photos really enhance the book.
Absolutely. Found those really impactful as well. So, Janet, what do you hope readers might gain from your book, if there's a main takeaway as we begin to wrap up today's presentation?
Well, I guess really there are two main things. One is that life is mystical and magical, and don't miss it. and each day is miraculous. Even if you're having a bad day, it's still miraculous. And also in the importance and deep value of relaxing, meditating, dreaming, visioning. It will vastly enhance the quality of your daily life. And if you practice, it's inevitable. You know, it's subtle, it's gradual, but it's inevitable.
Hey, thank you. Well, Ryan, do we have any comments or questions in the chat box?
We do not have any comments or questions at this time. So what we can do is we can go ahead and go to our final slide here and talk a little bit about our giveaway as well as some upcoming Oh, I'm sorry. Did we have time to do the mindful moment aspects, Phil?
We really are out of time. I think we might do a plug and certainly a teaser, Janet, and talk about opportunities for people to take advantage of the guided meditation and yoga that's offered here. And Janet, any?
You can go to the library. The EDWS has a wonderful library, and you can listen to meditations on the library. I shared a lot of mindful moments in that presentation, but if you want like a meditation experience, go to the library or show up at one of the Friday classes, live stream.
And I'm posting in the chat right now. This is a link to our mindfulness and meditation playlist that Janet's referring to. So these are past recordings of all the wonderful sessions Janet's done with us, including both meditation as well as some yoga videos in there too. So definitely check that out if you're interested. And then another opportunity before we do our final book prize drawing today, we do have a yoga and meditation session led by Janet that's coming up next Friday. So that's going to be on Friday, and that's going to be July 23rd, and that'll be at noon. And if you go to the GSU web calendar, you can register for it there. Or if you're on the Clarkston campus, we will be having that session in person, and we always welcome people to join us. We are in the CN building up in room 2220 if you want to join us in person on campus. But the web link is available for other attendees as well.
Ryan, can you hear me?
Yes.
It's June 23rd.
Oh, did I say July? I apologize. June 23rd. Thank you for that correction. The months are flying by, but not quite that fast.
I know they are.
So we did want to talk about our special offering today, and that is that if you were an attendee in today's book club presentation, we are doing a book prize drawing. I know some of our attendees let me know that they had to depart a little bit earlier in the presentation due to work conflicts. So anyone who attended today, we're going to be doing a prize drawing after the conclusion of today's session, and we'll be reaching out to our lucky attendee to let them know that they won a copy of the book. For everyone else, we do have purchasing options available for Janet's book. It's available on Amazon.com. So if you are interested in that, we encourage you to look into it. It's a great read, and you can use it to enhance your well-being practice, as Janet mentioned today. So that book is available on Amazon, and we'll be reaching out to our lucky winner for the prize drawing of the book after today's session. Additionally, you'll get an email with a link to a quick survey where you can let us know what you thought of the presentation today. We're always looking for suggestions for improvement, as well as if you've got ideas for a book you'd like to see us talk about in a future book club, you can let us know by that survey. So keep an eye out for that as well. In that email, we'll be sure to include a link to our meditation and well-being library that we discussed, so you can see all of our past recordings. And with that, we just want to thank everyone again for attending today's presentation, and a massive thank you once more to Janet for taking time out of her day to come and talk about her book. And thank you as always, Janet, for continuing to support EDWS through the meditation and yoga offerings. All right. We hope that everyone has a great rest of their day. Keep an eye out for that follow-up email, and we hope to see you at one of our events in the near future. Thank you.